All right, Forex futures, crypto. Let's run down the list. Australian dollar, Canadian dollar. Down day yesterday, or technically still today, but Forex closes at 5, so I'm filming this at about 6:22. So we starting decently so far today. Down day yesterday, but still trends to the upside is still intact. Same thing, Aussie Swiss. Trend is still intact. Still a long ways away from these range highs. So nothing new, although there's down days across the board. Still got to watch this trend line, but the weekly pivot area is still positive, even if we do get some selling. But that's more of a momentum line. So if we get, below 80, I think, there could be some more selling, but the overall trend is intact. And I'm comfortable with all my Australian dollar holdings right now, even if there's some immediate term selling. Not in the Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar, but again, same thing. Same thing for the Australian dollar, US dollar. Strong, holding above. Bitcoin, huge bounce back. Did a post on this. We talked about this. As long as it can hold this area here at 31,000, 30,000 area, right? As long as this box holds, the trend is still positive, although there will be a harder correction than there even has been at some point. But for now, the momentum is still to the upside. CAD Swiss, nothing. CAD Yen, still think it wants to break out here as long as overall risk trends stay positive and the crude oil stays positive. Speaking of, again, actually it's wild, right? I mean, negative 38 prices, that did happen. So whenever you think you can know the future, there's always reminders like that. Still strong though, nothing new here. E-mini S&Ps starting out the post market decent, pretty much inside day today, but the trend is still to the upside. Let's see what happens with Joe Biden tomorrow. Ethereum, did a post about this on the site. Strong bounce back today, just like Bitcoin. As long as we stay above these main levels here, trend is positive. Australian dollar against the euro, still downtrend here. So nothing new. Just did a post about this. I think if this immediate term range holds and this downtrend line holds, I think we could see the low end of the range here of this bigger macro range here at 153. So I'm still short this. We'll see how it acts these next couple days, but I still think the trend is to the downside. Euro Swiss, nothing. Euro Pound, also did a post about on this. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down days in a row. So we could see a bounce, but I think this bounce will be met with selling if the bounce does come, and I think this 88.50 area is at some point coming up. Euro Japanese yen, selling these past 4 days, but the trend is still positive. It'd have to really close below this 126, 125 area in order for there to be a full-on reversal back into the range. But for now, still up, although it's definitely getting close to potentially being bearish. Euro New Zealand had an update yesterday, already selling today. I still think as long as it doesn't clear this 169, basically 17, the trend is still down. Euro USD, Euro dollar, still short. Still think the trend is to the downside on the immediate term basis, even though the more broader trend is to the upside, but maybe we'll just bounce around in here. The Euro's been weak, as you can see, against pretty much everything. I don't know what that means on a broader macro basis, but I mean, granted, it's been strong against the dollar in the past couple months, but on a more recent week to 2 week basis, the euro's kind of been the weakest of all the currencies. So it's interesting. Let's see what happens here. But I'm going to keep this short on unless we close back above the range. Pound Australian dollar had a little bit of a bounce here, but I still think it wants to roll over unless broader risk trends change. Pound Canadian dollar, super choppy. Haven't touched it. I don't think there's anything new here. It's not going to trade this. Pound Swiss gave up some yesterday, but still holding strong. I still think this $1.22 area is inevitable. Again, as long as risk trends stay intact. I mean, this range is going back since April. So if it does clear, there could be some strong buying. Japanese yen, British pound, same theme. Still think 142.70, 143 area is next stop. Pound New Zealand dollar, strong week, but I think the next move will be to roll over here at the range. We'll see. Might try to take this trade actually, but for now, I'm gonna wait patient. But I think if this range low here holds, then the next move will be down. Pound dollar holding above this range high here. Trend is still positive unless something changes. Gold, looking for an opportunity to sell. Signal might come soon. As I said, I thought that this area would be strong resistance. It's proving it is so far. Let's see how it acts these next couple days and see if I can get a good entry point. I really wanted it to come fill more of this space here first, but we'll have to wait and watch. Copper. Trend is still positive, although actually was about to send a reversal signal out. I'm going to take this trade now that the market's back opened here at 6. I think that on a more immediate term basis, we could have some selling back into this pivot area. As you can see, it's definitely decelerating on a rate of change basis. So near term, actually bearish, even though the general trend is definitely still positive. Chain link, talked about it holding this area, holding above $12.33, strong day to day. Again, as long as the entire crypto space momentum continues, Chainlink will continue to do well. Litecoin held support, strong, same thing as Ethereum and Bitcoin. I'm not worried about this unless we get a close below 119. Then I'll cut that position from 70. But it's a great breakout trade, and the strength is continued. So I think there's momentum. Natural gas, nothing. Although I'm looking to sell it again if I can get an opportunity. Waiting and watching though. Definitely got rejected at range highs, so I'm going to continue to. Yeah, still looking for another opportunity. But have to wait and watch that. Nikkei is still strong. NASDAQ still strong. Well above the range. Decent day yesterday. Again, unless the trend changes, nothing new. Now, this is another one. New Zealand dollar, Canadian dollar. Signal is going to go out. I'm going to take this reversal trade on the immediate term basis. Probably going to use this 920 area as a stop. Maybe actually a closer stop. I have to look at the 4-hour chart actually. You know what? Let me take a look at that actually. So yeah, we'll see. I think this might be a good area to sell here. I'll send out a signal, and then I'm going to use this trend line as kind of a line in the sand. As long as we can stay below here, then I still think the trend there is going to be a little bit more of a rollover. And then if we clear that and then clear this 9.2 area, then I'll look to reverse the position to a buy. But I think there could be some more selling pressure here. So let's see. New Zealand dollar, Swiss franc. This one is also close on a more immediate term basis to some sort of a reversal potential back toward the area that we bought it on this breakout back in late November. But I'm going to wait and watch this today. If we can clear this 6.4 area, then the trend is definitely still to the upside, but it is teetering. But the broader weekly trend area is still positive at 63 cents. But on a more immediate term basis, New Zealand dollar's been weak, so we'll watch this. Although against the Japanese yen stronger, so that trend is still intact. Same thing for the US dollar, although a little bit closer to rolling over. Let's see how it behaves these next couple days. Definitely have this on the watch list, but again, the trend is still to the upside. Palladium still in the range, waiting for this breakout if it comes, but nothing new. Platinum, of course, bailed on it, and then a huge rally. So it looks like this broader breakout is actually still intact here. So maybe if we get a pullback, there's an opportunity to get in, but unfortunately I might have missed that one. Russell still strong, nothing new. Silver, same thing as gold. I think there could be some selling here. So in silver's case, I think the range resistance is more the top end of the previous range here. And we could get some more back and fill, but we'll see. US dollar, Canadian dollar, down on this position. Gonna use this $1.26 area as a line in the sand. It's been super choppy, so maybe it'll bounce back. But because of my equity exposure, I actually wouldn't be mad if the dollar continued to get weaker, because that probably means positive stocks. So if I have to take the hit on this position, then so be it. But the reversal pattern is definitely still intact as long as it doesn't close below $1.26. So I'm going to continue to hold that. Nothing with the Swiss franc, nothing with the yen. Mexican peso position got stopped out, and then of course would be a winner now, but let's watch to see how it acts toward the range lows. Maybe we can re-enter to the short side, but for now, nothing. And then one short that we do have on the dollar as well as against the South African rand. I still think it wants to at least retest this range area. This trade is still in the money, but the stop, is going to go right here at $15.63. So, but for now, on one side, if there's dollar strength, we'll win with against the Canadian dollar, and then this position will get stopped out. But if the dollar continues to weaken, then this one should continue to move to the downside and perhaps even faster than the Canadian dollar. Volatility, still think the trend is to the downside. As long as the equity market is to the downside, and then in general the VIX is still elevated. So assuming everything, the whole transfer of power thing goes well, then I think the VIX will eventually crack 20. Ripple moving in sympathy with the rest of the space. Dow strong, literally done nothing for about 4 or 5 days, but that's a good thing. It also goes to that volatility thing I was talking about. The stock market doesn't have to rip in order for volatility to get crushed, and then vice versa. The stock market can rip and vol can still remain elevated, but one way or another, I think vol will kind of suppress, and we'll have more days in the market that look like this, but the underlying stocks within it, there'll be a lot of movement, but the broad indexes might just relax a little bit. The bond short is still in play. Although today or yesterday, I guess technically was a big bounce back day. Although we're still holding below this range low. So as long as we don't clear 169.31, then the trend is still down. But if we do, then I might actually reverse the position to a long, but we'll see. Hopefully that's not the case, because I would think that that's probably more bad news for equities if bonds really rally here. But we'll see. And then last but not least, wheat. Strong, still holding this breakout area. It was a great reversal trade back in early December, and as long as we hold these this breakout now, the uptrend is definitely still intact. All right, that's it.